Springsteen I, narrated by Morgan Freeman. Nah, maybe not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
I first heard Bruce Springsteen in 1984. I was 14. And yes, it started with this.
Well, I guess these times are finally over now.
And I did misunderstand the pose in Springsteen's video clips too, besides the fact that my English at that time was simply out of this planet. And I had no clue why the song Born in the USA caused such a patriotic debate.
America's future rests in 1,000 dreams inside your hearts. It rests in the message of hope in songs of a man so many young Americans admire, New Jersey's own Bruce Springsteen.
While others said, no, it's not patriotic. It stands for the ripped identity of the USA in the 80s, facing their history and their economic problems. So my first lesson was learning English with the boss. I grabbed the lyrics books from the collection of 1975 to 85 and translated it word by word. Certainly reading the words does not make you understand the whole story, but what I did understand is how was Springsteen singing the lines. I heard him transferring the feelings into words, the words into stories about everyday people struggling their destiny and their fate. Basically, Springsteen is a great storyteller.
Dylan was a revolutionary. You know, the way that Elvis freed your body, Bob freed your mind.
So, do something, and may his song be sung. Remember when...
Unfortunately, he's an excellent musician too, and Springsteen really rocks.
They brought death to my home.
So I listened to the stories, the music, and the lyrics on every song on the collection, night in, night out, day after day on my first Sony Walkman. I guess that thing never played anything else than Springsteen until it broke in 1989. And still today I can repeat every interlude, every lyrics just by heart. And I'm still learning with the boss at the age of 40. So my school grades went from F to B within 3 years at school. And basically Springsteen did what no other teacher was able to. Finally, the boss came to Germany on his Human Touch tour, and for the first time I had my own money to attend one of his legendary concerts. I guess that was 1993 near my hometown in Dortmund. At the concert, I made my way straight to the first row, right at the barrier, really close to the stage, and I witnessed a great show. It was a worship with the best rock and roll preacher you can imagine. Well, just an arm length beyond this barrier, there was a guy sitting on a chair, short hair, brown leather jacket, and right behind him an impressive bodyguard. And he was holding a set list in his hand, and from my position I could see that it was in Bruce Springsteen's devastating handwriting. And right at that moment, Springsteen faced down that guy, who slowly lifted up from his chair and said, "Welcome, my friend from New Jersey, John Bon Jovi." And he left the set list on his chair. So I took all my courage and my sweetest English at that time and asked the huge black bodyguard, "Sorry, mister, can I have the sheet of paper, please?" And he grabbed it, looked at it, and just gave it to me without words. I was so happy, but somehow in the past 20 years, I lost the set list. And there's not one day that I wouldn't bite my own ass for losing it. I was about to marry my girlfriend Crystal in Las Vegas this June, and as a perfect prelude to this, we started with the concert of Springsteen in Berlin. And at the hotel bar, we met a personal assistant, Steve, of one of the band, and Certainly he didn't tell us exactly which PA he was, but I was curious, but I decided not to be impolite. So we kept talking about America in general, about politics, and certainly about the Wrecking Ball tour. And he was just a nice guy from New York. And so I told him my story about how I lost my set list. Next day, when my girl and I took our premium seats at the concert, all of a sudden Steve stood right before us, and an all access pass dangling around his neck, offering us some bottled water. I was totally surprised, and I only could say, "Oh, thank you. How nice was that?" Again, just like old times, we've seen a great 3-hour show with a pure energetic Boss at the age of 62. We were just about going back to the hotel after the concert has finished, and that was Steve again. In his hand he was holding the set list of the concert we've just seen, and he handed it to me with the words, "Here, I guess you like it." I was totally stunned and surprised and even couldn't say a word. He turned and disappeared somewhere in the crowd, and I turned the page, and due to our marriage he has written "Viva Las Vegas" on it. So, and why is Bruce Springsteen such an important person in my life? Well, he guided me through the hard times of my life when I took his songs and lyrics as an advice, when I had no clue what to do. He was like the father that I missed so badly.
Thanks, boss.
And he made me fall in love with the USA, the landscapes, the people, the differences, and the union. I've traveled this country in all directions in the past few years. Well, my greatest wish is to meet the boss one day. And if not possible, I'd like to make the video clip to American Land. One sentence wraps it all up for me, and it's the absolute truth. Bruce Springsteen has written the soundtrack to my life.
Next Springsteen fan in production.